Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. I finally made up my mind to upload some videos, some footage from Dresden in Saxony, Germany that I took in the beginning of May this year. Now, as you all know, at around that time it was very quiet in many German cities. So I took the opportunity and took some footage without the masses of tourists that you would normally meet in Dresden at around that time of the year. I will be uploading my trip in several segments, and this first one will be about the center, the old town, the Altstadt. So today you can see the Frauenkirche at the Neumarkt, and you can see the Catholic Hofkirche, the Stadtschloss a little bit, and also the Semperoper. The footage from this year is outdoors only because all the churches and all the museums and everything was closed, but I think I will include a couple of snippets from my earlier visits when I was inside of these buildings and monuments. I also took some footage on 2 different days. One day was sunny, the other one was not, but I had a little more time. So most of the walking will be in rather gloomy weather, and in between there will be some more sunny segments with a little more vivid colors. Most of the time I will not say anything. I might say something every here and there and comment a little bit about what you are seeing at the moment. But for the major part, I guess it will be quiet. I put some sources down below, so some Wikipedia articles where you can read a little bit about the city and the monuments. Feel free to look at these sources. I guess this might be handy for people who don't know the names of the different monuments and the churches and all this stuff. Just something for your reference. The parts of my visit that I will be uploading in future videos will be then the University of Dresden, which I personally find very beautiful. There are original old brick buildings, red brick buildings, which I personally find very nice. Also, the historic train station will be in those videos, and also the Zwinger, the palace, the residence of Dresden. And probably I make one more video about the Elbe and the valley. So I know if you're not in Germany, you probably cannot travel to Germany right now, but maybe this gives you some inspiration for a trip to good old Germany, to Saxony, once we can travel again. Also, I actually wanted to make such a video for a very long time already, because it really rubs me the wrong way that newspapers such as the New York Times spreads a lot of misinformation and very questionable stories about Eastern Germany, and they also didn't include Eastern Germany anymore in their travel suggestions for Germany, and instead put some very questionable and actually in my opinion very ugly destinations from Western Germany on the list. But also German state comedians are openly hostile and preaching hatred against the people of Saxony, and I spoke out against that from Japan a year ago. If you want to know more about this story, check out the video I made about that. So this is as far as my motivation goes, but the primary motivation is of course that Saxony is a wonderful federal state, and especially Dresden is a beautiful city and definitely worth the visit. So I parked my car a little bit southeast of Old Town, and I'm making my way towards the center now, and I'm passing some older buildings to my right with some socialist art, I guess. And I'm approaching the Neumarkt. So that is the Neumarkt now, a marketplace in the center of Dresden with the iconic Frauenkirche, a Lutheran Protestant church from the 18th century in the center. There is also a statue of Martin Luther, the great German reformer, in front of the church. And as you all know probably, this is also the place where German patriots still meet every Monday, I think. There are a couple of very nice hotels, and all the facades and all the buildings around this marketplace have been restored quite impressively, I think. I still remember that from way back when, before everything was renovated. It looks really nice now, especially in the sunlight. You can of course also enter the Frauenkirche normally, and you can also climb the top. There is a big dome and a platform at the top. It gives a very nice view, but it is very windy up there of course. As you probably also all know, Dresden was destroyed towards the end of World War II, and the Frauenkirche was no exception. It is pretty scandalous, however, that the communist rulers in the East decided to not rebuild this church. It took until 2004 for the church to be renovated, because the communists decided to keep the ruins as a display of their dominance and their victory over Christianity and European values. So here you can see the so-called Fürstenzug, that is the procession of the princes in English, and I am showing you that in the correct chronological order. So it is a procession, that is led by the earliest descendants or the earliest rulers, and as you walk backwards in the direction of this track, you actually move forward in time to more modern times, to our modern era. And underneath the horse with the rider, you can see the byname that rulers, princes, and kings sometimes had, like the strong, or the courageous, or the weird guy with crooked teeth. Normally, these bynames are positive, but there are a couple of funny ones. The fourth one, for example, Dietrich der Bedrängte, which means something like Dietrich the Oppressed. I find that very funny, always funny in the current year. And then there is one guy, Friedrich der Gebissene. That means Friedrich who was bitten, or who, by a dog or something. And also pretty funny, I think. Where is it? Georg der Bärtige, that is George the bearded person. So maybe they couldn't find a fitting attribute and they just thought, he did have a beard, yeah. That is actually pretty sad, because he did rule for 39 years. You wonder, couldn't they have found something a little more descriptive? Maybe they wanted to be polite, and they thought, if we don't have anything polite to say about him, let's not say anything at all. So the beard it was. So this mosaic consists of roundabout 23,000 tiles of Meissen porcelain, and it was erected, or it was built in 1904, or between 1904 and 1907. I actually like that pretty much, this procession of the princes of House Wettin. So you see margraves, dukes, prince electors, and kings of Saxony here. And I like that pretty much because it shows us how far back it dates. These princes, or these rulers that you see, are from a time between 1127 and 1904. That is pretty impressive, and it just goes to show how long the tradition of this house is there, and the ancestry that the rulers of Saxon actually can look back to. Something that I want to see in more European cities actually. People should be made aware more of where they come from and who our ancestors were. So here we can see the Catholic Cathedral of Dresden, which is also connected with this funky bridge to the city residents. In German it is called the Katholische Hofkirche, which means the Catholic Court Church, and in English I think you can call it the Cathedral of the Holy Trinity, Dresden. The church was built under Augustus III, Elector of Saxony within the Holy Roman Empire, and he was also King of Poland and Grand Duke of Lithuania. So while the ruler of Saxony and King of Poland built this Catholic cathedral here, the city of Dresden, which was Protestant, were building the Frauenkirche that I showed you earlier. The cathedral is also one of the burial sites of House Wettin. Here you can see the Semperoper, the opera house of Dresden, and this is a very important building, a very important opera house. Many premieres, historically important premieres, took place here. Works of Richard Wagner and Strauss were performed here for the first time. A very nice opera house. Unfortunately, I have never been in there. This is still on my to-do list. Of course, now it is closed, or it was closed. I don't know if it reopened again already, but this is something I definitely want to do in the near future. And then just adjacent to it, you see the other residence, the other palace, which is called der Zwinger. And just like the Stadtschloss, it is also home to a lot of exhibitions and a lot of museums. Whereas in the Stadtschloss you can see coins and other important things, of course. Here in the Zwinger you first of all see a very beautiful garden and also old paintings, porcelain, and also scientific instruments, yes. And this is where we will stop our tour for today. The Zwinger will be in another video, so stay tuned. Servus, Kameraden!